You're watching CS 105.1, where I talk about sports and movies with good vibes. And the good vibes keep on rolling as the Nuggets go streaking. Let's get it. Hey everyone, let's talk sound quality. Imagine having pro-level audio that's easy to set up, flexible, and sounds incredible. That's the Røde Pod Mic USB. It's got both USB and XLR connections, so whether you're recording solo at home or in a full studio setup, you're covered. And get this, the built-in DSP effects let you adjust the sound with zero lag. You get that deep, smooth broadcast tone right out of the box. It's versatile, powerful, and basically makes your voice sound like pure gold. The lightning is coming, everyone. Unforgiving. The lightning is coming. Let's go. How's it going, everyone, and welcome. I'm CS Chandler, here for another take of Nuggets basketball. So tonight, the Nuggets faced the Mavs, the Dallas Mavericks, and won 122-120. This was their fifth straight win. Awesome stuff. And there was a lot of good things that come from this. They definitely learned a lot from the game against the Heat. Some things they didn't learn as well, and they still need to clean up some more stuff moving forward, especially moving on now to New Orleans and then the Grizzlies, who are also doing fairly well right now. They have a 3-game win streak, but, Ja Morant's doing some insane things right now, so he's definitely keeping that team afloat. Plus also Jay Huff, former Nug. Last season, we would always be afraid when he was on the court because he'd probably throw a brick or whatever, and now he's averaging like 20 points a game. Insane stats right now. And dunking it and everything, like he's got fired up. I'm actually happy to see Jay Huff be so successful right now, and hopefully he's able to come back to the Nuggets one day, bringing that same kind of energy. Be awesome to have that. So before I get into the game, I just wanted to start off with the fact that the Nuggets started off this season with 3 losses and 1 win. A lot of the media had them counted out. Even today, they would rather talk about Embiid and the worst team in the NBA, the 76ers, than Nikola Jokić and the Denver Nuggets making a comeback. The Nuggets have since gone on a sprint to catch back up and get within 1 game of the 1 seed of the West Coast. Down a major player in Aaron Gordon, and 3 games before that with Jamal Murray, they haven't played pretty games, but they have fought back to show just how dominant they are, and a lot of that has to do with Nikola Jokić, who has continued to put on masterclass after masterclass of good playmaking. His IQ is one of, if not the best in the NBA right now. He has an average triple-double a game right now, totaling of 6. Tonight, he got his 6th, which tells me he is sticking with the plays and involving the rest of his team to get buckets and wins. This is a team sport. Most who only play for themselves don't win the meaningful games. A lot of this has to do with how players are taught in Europe. Outside of playing ball, their society is generally a we society. This allows them, when they go into team sports, to play together as one, rather than the certain guys just wanting to make a name for themselves. This is why you get great players like Luka and Jokić. The fact the media continues to disrespect the Nuggets is only going to fuel them even more, and I do believe that it's going to cause them to have a very similar season to that of the championship season of 2023. Now, tonight's game was a military appreciation game, so definitely happy Veterans Day to anyone who served. Thank you for your service. Nuggets offense, though, in this game kept them in the game. Their defense allowed the Mavs to keep on making pushes and to occasionally get the lead at times. I believe the largest lead the Mavs had against the Nuggets was 6. It was like 6 or 9 or something like that, which was kind of, you could reverse it in the same thing for the Nuggets. The Nuggets only got up to 10 points at one point. 10 points twice in the game. They got up to 10 points, and each time the Mavs battled back. So there is still a lot of room to improve. Hey everyone, if you're looking for a game-changing webcam that keeps up with every move, you've got to check out the Insta360 link. It's a 4K AI-powered webcam that auto-tracks so you're always in frame, even if you're moving around. Perfect for live streams, meetings, content creating, also podcasts. It adjusts to light, zooms in and out, and follows you naturally. This is hands-free, hassle-free, studio-quality production for anyone who wants professional visuals right from the desk. Insta360 Link is a total game changer. Now let's get into the game here. The first quarter, the Nuggets got the tip off, so they controlled the ball at the beginning. And Jamal starts off with an and one. Great play, quickly, setting the tone for that first quarter. Nuggets quickly build a 9-point lead, which is broken down then later on. With back-to-back misses and not rebounding, that's an issue that they definitely need to come to clean up. Is offensive rebounds, specifically offensive rebounds, and then also turnovers. A lot of sloppy turnovers. They didn't have many turnovers tonight. They actually had probably their best night of turnovers tonight. They only had 10, which is, I'll take that any given day over the 17 plus that they've been averaging lately. So that's awesome. I'm glad to see that they're cleaning that up. MBJ helps build the lead back up to 10 with back-to-back threes. He was getting it going in the first quarter. The Mavs defense, though, started to make the Nuggets' second unit get sloppy as soon as they got them in later in that quarter. They started to make sloppy plays, getting turnovers, several bad turnovers with Brody and Jokić. The Nugs, though, end up winning the first quarter 35-29. Then we get into the second quarter, start at the second, Jokić is out, and Zeke Naji is in his place. They almost lose the ball, but then they stick with the play to get the points. But then we end up getting more horrible turnovers, throwing bricks, and there is a horrible turnover that then leads to Powell getting a layup or a dunk, and no one tracked him down. No one contested it. No one ran after him. They just watched him go down to the other side and make a bucket. The Mavs then take the lead in the second quarter with free throws from Powell. And let me also note that the Mavs were down in two of their major players with Derek Lively and PG Washington. Like, if we only win by 2 points and they still have major players, I know we have one major player still out, but they have two major players. Like, the next time that we face them, if they're in the game, it's going to most likely be a completely different game, different outcome, I should say. But our starters were Jamal Murray, Jokić, CB, P-Watt because AG is still out, and then Michael Porter Jr. So they definitely did a great job with offense. They all got into double digits with their points. Julian Strawther had a great night in point making. He was in double digits. And I'll get into stats later on, but, just put that out there right now. And it was definitely a Kyrie night and a Luka night. They did their normal two-man game setup and everything that they normally do. But Strawther actually is able to get the lead back from the Mavs with a three. But then Luka quickly ties it up. So it's this kind of back and forth thing that you see throughout the entire game. It's like a seesaw back and forth. Several times there was each team got one tech. Each team contested the calls from the refs. Luckily, we got a successful challenge. They got a unsuccessful challenge. And you could see Murray had some passion in this one. He started to get, vocal. And I love whenever Jamal Murray gets vocal, because you can tell that he's in it. Even if he's not having his best night and he gets vocal, you can tell that he's still locked in and is wanting to do well. And you will see a Murray flurry at one point. And we definitely saw some periods here and there, especially towards the end. He got very clutch. And then Jokić was also very passionate on this one too. So, but so they keep on going back and forth, right? And then the Nuggets are playing too fast, and they're not rebounding offensively. They start, maybe feeling the pressure of the Mavs defense, and so they try to outrun them. And then that causes them to shoot sloppy and not be able to gather well enough, and so they're missing shots here all the time. Almost every opportunity they get, they're missing the shots. And then MPJ leads Malone to challenge a foul that was called that then was successful. And then CB got the ball and made a great fast break bucket. Then they got Jokić back in already with a double watch. Great fast break by Peyton Watson for a layup, P-Watt. And then Kyrie was guarded by CB, who he outsmarts CB. Like, he was at the 3-point line, and CB was trying to guard him and everything, and he did this stupid, trying to look like he was going for a foul, and right at the right minute or the right second, where a defender is going to put their hand up to try to block it, right when you put your hand up is when he threw his hand up, which then caused the CB's hand to hit him a little bit, and then he got the foul, and then he went up for 3 free throws, which, if you know Kyrie, he will make almost every single free throw. It's very seldom will he miss a free throw. He's like one of the best, if not the best, at free throws. So that was a little frustrating, or a little, just frustrating. Kyrie's always a frustrating player when you're not rooting for him. He's not the guy you want to root against. The Mavs end the quarter winning the second quarter 34-25. And the Mavs actually go into the half period 63-60. So they won, and then they actually are in the lead going in. And there was a chance for us to at least tie the game, and again we had a turnover and didn't do well. So lately, so far, a lot of our games have been we come back in the second half. We play a little great basketball in like the first 5 minutes of the game, and then we start to slack off, and then we bounce back in the second half. I'm with Coach Malone. I would love to see 4 quarters of the same consistent energy. That's like high energy, good urgency. And right now we are getting this kind of like up high and then down low and then coming back up. So then the third quarter starts, and the Nuggets get off on it with a good start, getting a bucket in. But then the Mavs come back, and then they get a bucket in, and we go this back and forth, trading baskets of each team getting up by 1 each time, and then tying it, and then getting a bucket that gets them one more ahead at like a 3, and then a 2, and then a 2, and then a 3, and then a 3, and then it's like it was just back and forth. And I noticed coming out of the half, they didn't revive the Nuggets timeouts. After the halftime happens, you get 5 timeouts. Each team gets 5 timeouts. They didn't revive the Nuggets timeouts after the half. I thought that was really strange, and I don't know what happened that caused them to be down a couple of timeouts. But then Jokić solidified his 6th triple-double in the third quarter. And that's when roughly around where there was a tech on the Mavs, and Murray went to go shoot the free throw for the tech, and he misses it. That was one thing that I noticed in this game. That was also another thing that they need to do better on, is the free throws. This was not one of our better games for free throws. Although, and I'll go into the stats here, but not a lot of players from our side went to the free throw. We actually sent them to the foul line more than they sent us. And they were much better at free throws than we were tonight. So, but, and then, P-Watt,
was able to get his 4th straight 3. He was on fire with threes tonight, and it's kind of interesting to see P-Watt right now because he is missing some easy buckets, but then he'll come back and revive himself with either amazing defense or a much needed 3, and that's kind of what happened. So he missed a very easy dunk, but then was able to come back with a 3. So, and then he actually has a big role at the 4th quarter. We'll get to that later. Jokić and Malone at this point are super upset. Like I told you before, right? Jokić was passionate. He yelled. He you could hear him. I don't know how far away the cameras are to the main court, but he yelled almost as if you were 10 feet by him on the ground. You could hear it so well. He was pissed. Malone was pissed. When he called the timeout, he threw his play, he had a piece of paper with plays on it that he threw to the ground. They were hot. And I can understand the bench did a lot of sloppy things. And there was a lot of sloppy things with the starters too sometimes. And so but luckily the Nuggets were able to get the win in the 3rd quarter. They won 37-31, which I think allowed them to be able to still get the win, because in the 4th quarter they definitely started to slack off a lot more, and the Mavs played with more urgency. So if you remember, in the first quarter, the Nuggets won the tip-off, which means that they're going to get the possession of the ball in the 1st quarter and then in the 4th quarter, and the Mavs are going to start off the ball with the 2nd and the 3rd quarter. So with the 4th quarter, we start the ball off, and they get to a horrible turnover right off the bat. This is also... Malone had pulled Jokić out to rest him, because it's not sustainable to play Jokić 48 minutes. It's not even sustainable, I think, to play him 35 minutes. He should be playing under 30 minutes, but just because we don't have a decent backup big for him to switch out his minutes with, he has to be playing more. Otherwise, the Nuggets are definitely going to suffer, and it shows every single time we have the non-Jokić minutes. And so Zeke played the 4th quarter, and Zeke has been on and off and everything. And I started to see more on social media how there is more hate against Zeke tonight. But let's not forget, Sarge, way worse than Zeke right now. We were so happy to get Zeke back in on the court after seeing Sarge play. And remember, Sarge hasn't played in several games now. I don't know when he's going to get played again, but I think because of how horrible he played in the first 3 games, Malone has not been able to trust him and has played Zeke over him. And I think also DeAndre Jordan, those two are more reliable, because Malone also has more time with those two than he does with Sarge. So, if Sarge were to play like he did in the preseason, I think he would get more minutes. As soon as the regular season started, it was like he just forgot how to play. So I don't know when we're going to get to see him next, but as of now, if Zeke is our guy, then Zeke is our guy. And he did make a good dunk tonight. He had to really muscle it in, but he didn't have horrible minutes. He did miss some shots, and he had a turnover, I think, but you can't really go. You can do a lot worse, is what I'm trying to say, than Zeke. So this actually plays into what I was continuing to say, was that the Nuggets just kept on missing easy buckets. We were the first to get to 100. Murray got us there with a much needed 3, but then Irving gets back-to-back 3s and gets them within 1. So this is kind of the overall story, again, like I was telling you, just this back and back forth of trading baskets, our defense not holding their offense down and allowing them to get buckets and allowing them to get back up after we've knocked them down, and gotten a lead up to 10. But then we quickly lose it. So, and this isn't actually the first team that we've done that with. We've done that with several teams already. So they need to maintain consistency and really build off of leads rather than get comfortable with them, because that's really what they're doing right now. And Murray at one point gets fouled at the three-point line, similar to how Kyrie got fouled, and the Mavs challenge it. And luckily, it was unsuccessful. You could have definitely argued that it wasn't a foul, but he definitely got his elbow grazed. And in this new realm of NBA where you can get grazed and it be a foul, Luka got grazed at one point, and like he overreacted and acted like he got shot or whatever, and still went to the foul line. So now it was Murray's chance to kind of oversell the foul, and he got 3 free throws, but he missed 2 of the free throws. Like, this is what I'm talking about. When Jamal Murray, who is one of our best free throw shot makers, misses 2 out of 3 in a 3 point free throw foul line visit, like there's some like fatigue or whatever involved right now. So then P. Watt, like I said, he comes back into play in the fourth quarter. He made another game-winning block. So if you remember in the OKC game, he made the game-saving block against SGA, a high clutch player in the fourth quarter, right down to the second, right? Almost the same thing now with Kyrie. And it felt almost like that same game when the Nuggets played the Mavs last season for St. Paddy's Day in Dallas, and Kyrie put up that stupid left-handed lob or floater that won them the game by 1. This time he was going for a 3, and thank God P. Watt was able to block it. He's gotten some amazing blocks, and I hope that he gets noticed for his defense this time around. Like, he needs to get at least all NBA, first or second team all NBA defense, because he's been amazing with that. So the Nuggets end up losing the fourth quarter, 26-24, because they started to slack off and they had some stupid turnovers, but they were able to play so well in the third quarter that they were able to lose a couple of points and still win the game. And they won 122-120. As a cinematographer, photographer, and now a podcaster, I do believe lighting is everything. And if you're serious about creating dynamic content, you need to check out Nanlite. They're all about precision and control. Whether it's soft, natural lighting or vibrant colors, Nanlite gives you full flexibility to set the mood for any scene. From compact LEDs to powerful softboxes, Nanlite has light solutions that fit every setup. It's ideal for photographers, like myself, videographers, like myself, and creators who want to pro-grade quality right out on their fingertips. With Nanlite, you're lighting like a pro every time. Let me go over the stats here for you. So MPJ played 35 minutes tonight. P. Watt played 39 minutes. P. Watt almost played the entire game. Like, that's crazy. And he's also young, so he can do that. He's like one of the youngest players on the roster for us. So Jokić played 38 minutes exactly. CB played 35. Jamal Murray played 38. Like, you could tell that Malone was playing mainly our starters and was treating it like it was a playoff game. Once again, like I've said before, a lot of these games are feeling like playoff games. It feels almost like we are still the returning champions. And I think a lot of that does have to do with the fact that we have the defending MVP and a 3-time MVP and a high candidate for the this year's MVP, which I would say is actually he should just give him the MVP. He's averaging a triple-double a game. What is AD doing? Oh, just getting you points? Get out of here with that. Or SGA? Get out of here. They're not averaging triple doubles. They are only focused on their own points. Like, don't talk to me about these players who are good at shot making but not good at involving the entire team. You don't hear non-SGA minutes with the OKC. You don't hear non-AD minutes with the Lakers. Like, there is literally non-Jokic minutes where the other team is able to make a comeback because our man is not on the court. And when he is on the court, he may not have his greatest night, but he will literally make all of the players that he is on the Nuggets better. Like, their percentages go up because he is on the floor. So give him the MVP just now. Don't even talk to me about anyone else. He deserves the MVP. Stats here. Michael Porter Jr. had 17 points. Not an amazing night, but still, it's a decent night for him. He, at one point, was a no-show. He, showed up at the beginning and then was a no-show and then showed up at the end when we really needed him. He actually was the one that made the game-winning bucket. And he had 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks. He was 6 for 11 in field goals, 2 for 6 in 3 points. Him and Murray actually tied there. Murray also had 2 for 6 in 3 points. MPJ had 3 for 4 in free throws. He had 0 turnovers. See, amazing. And 2 personal fouls. P-Watt had 16 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, which he should have 2 blocks. He actually, I think there was one that they didn't count, but he totally, he was the reason why the ball didn't go in. He totally tipped it. He had 6 for 9 in field goals, 4 for 4 in 3-pointers. Let's go. He didn't go to the foul line, but he did, and he also didn't have any turnovers. Awesome for him, but he didn't miss that dunk. He didn't have, he had 1 personal foul. So then we get to CB, who had 14 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. He was 5 for 10 in field goals. CB is in double figures every single game. It's just, he's having an amazing season so far. And I've heard that he's in the running for most improved player, which I hope he gets it. He definitely, his stats are showing it so far. And so if he continues this, he should get that. 100% he should get that. He was 1 for 2 in 3-pointers, 3 for 4 in free throws. He had 1 turnover and 3 personal fouls. Jamal Murray had 18 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists. He was 7 for 17 in field goals. Again, 2 for 6 in 3-pointers, 2 for 5 in free throws. Should have been 5 for 5. Knowing him, he should have been 5 for 5, and I'm sure he's kicking himself for that anyways. And then he had 2 turnovers and 3 personal fouls. And then we get to Jokić. Master triple-double, 37 points, 18 rebounds, 15 assists, 3 steals, 13 for 21 in field goals, 3 for 3 in 3-pointers, 8 for 8 in free throws, 4 turnovers, and 2 personal fouls. Don't tell me that's not MVP stat right there. Come on now. And then I'll just read Julian Stahler here. He was on the bench. He was 12 points off the bench. He had 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 steal, 2 blocks. He was 4 for 9 in field goals, 2 for 5 in 3-pointers, 2 for 3 in free throws. He had 1 turnover and 2 personal fouls. So if you remember the last game with the Miami Heat, MPJ, Nikola Jokić, and Murray were both very high in the plus-minus, right? MPJ tonight was a +2. P-Watt was a +3. CB was a +8. Murray was a +15. He was, I think, +28 last game. But he's still, very high in the plus. A lot of people like to hate on him when he doesn't have a good night, but you look at the stats there and he's actually making a difference. Whether or not if he's not doing good on offense, then he's showing up with the defense. He's always there to give something to his minutes, and it shows because he's a +15. Jokić is a +13 tonight. Julian Stahler was a -7. Despite doing some good things, he was still a -7. Westbrook was a -13. He also was very inconsistent tonight. He had some bricks, and some boneheaded turnovers. But then after he had a turnover, he would quickly turn that around and get a steal and do something good with the defense. He only is credited with 1 steal, but I'm pretty sure he had more than 1 steal tonight. I feel like he had like 3 steals. And then Zeke Naj is minus 11. So, oh, and then let's see, overall team stats here. So the Nuggets had 45 rebounds to the Mavericks 42. Denver had 35 assists to the Mavericks 29. So we won both of those. Nuggets had 6 steals to Mavericks 7, so they won that one. We had 5 blocks. They had 5 blocks. They shot 53% from field goals. We shot 50%. We shot 48 from 3-pointers. They shot 30, so we did better with 3-pointers. Despite Kyrie Irving making 6 of 8. Freaking shit. And then they were 73% from free throws. We were 69%. So see, we've been usually the ones that are like 65 or 75% in free throws. And then tonight we were actually the ones that were worse than the other team. And then we had 10 turnovers. They had 10 turnovers. They had 17 personal fouls. We had 16 personal fouls. Lots of stuff to clean up for the Nuggets. And I expect they now have a 4-day break. The next game is on Friday against the New Orleans Pelicans, and it will be the first game for them in the in-season tournament. And so hopefully they clean up a lot of this stuff. I know tomorrow they're going to have a blackout day, so they're not going to do anything. They're not going to practice or anything, but they'll be probably back at it on Tuesday and then Wednesday, and then I'm sure Thursday is probably when they're going to head out to New Orleans. And then they go from New Orleans to Memphis, and they play back-to-back Memphis games in there. So they get rid of the 2 games that we usually play there in like 1 week. So and then they come back to face the Mavs again, and then they go to LA to face the Lakers. So it's kind of a crazy next couple of weeks for them. And we also are going to be playing the Knicks later on this month. Wish I was in Denver for that. I would love to see them play that one. But I don't know who. I mean, obviously I would root for the Nuggets, but I would just like to see the Knicks play as well, and being a fan of them too. But big takeaway is just that they need to clean up. They did clean up their turnovers, and they have. Just from last season to this season, they have gotten significantly better at their free throws and significantly better at their 3-pointers. Those were 2 pain points for them. The bench has been inconsistent. I'm not going to say it's been horrible and horrendous. We have at times been the worst bench in the league, but we haven't always continued to be the worst bench in the league. And I think a lot of that has to do with Russell Westbrook. I think he is definitely adding more energy to the team. He is adding some great vet knowledge and everything there. And they're still a team. Most of the team already has played together, but the new kind of form of it, they're taking a different approach at basketball, and I think they're just trying to get used to the new plays and everything. Because if you use the same plays every single season, then teams start to pick up on it, and then you're no good. You have to come up with new plays. And so they're just trying to get used to these new plays, right? And play as one and get to know the new guys and everything. Strother didn't play a lot of games last year. Now he's playing more games. So they're trying to get used to him in the rotations. And then the fact that you lose KCP and you add CB into the starters. So they've been trying to get to know each other more and how they play and everything. And I think they're doing a great job. And the biggest thing, the biggest takeaway is just that they learn from what their mistakes are and they get better. And they don't always hang their head down at all. And they keep on sticking with the plays or sticking with the game rather. They don't always stick with the plays because there's a couple times in there where they just gave up completely on the play. But there was some also great times where like Jokić stuck with the play, and we ended up with 2 extra points because of that. So I think that they are hopefully going to have a good game against the Pelicans and get the in-season tournament off to a good start. Hopefully we can be a good contender for that this season. And hopefully, you know, the league starts to recognize Jokić this week. I would love to hear something good about him tomorrow from the media, though I'm not holding my breath. That's all I got for this episode. Hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe, or share it out to your friends and family as well. That'd be great. And you've been listening to CS 105.1, where I talk about sports and movies with good vibes. I'll catch you later.